Take it there, who gon' take it there, who gon' take it there, who gon' take it there? Electricity, 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 electricity. You know what's in the air, you know what's in the air, you know what's in the air, you know what's in the air. It's possibility, it's possibility, it's possibility, it's possibility.
So I want to talk about this budget shutdown situation. This has kind of been at the center of a lot of what's been going on politically, especially if you look at senators and congresspeople and stuff and the things that they've been going around talking about. This budget bill was an important part of it and has been an important part of it. Like if you look at Bernie going to swing states and trying to talk to not just Democratic voters, but Republican voters, you know, people in contentious districts that GOP won by thin margins, or these Republicans going and getting screamed at town halls in their own constituencies. This is all related to this budget bill, which essentially the question is, are they going to cut programs like Social Security and Medicare? How much of the government's funding are they going to cut? How much are they going to shape the funding that comes from Congress on what Doge and Elon Musk want? These have been sort of the central questions behind what this bill is going to end up being. And with a lot of pressure from Trump and, you know, some political maneuvering and finagling on the part of the Republicans in the House do not have a ton of wiggle room. Even though they have a majority, like I said, some of those GOP House members won by very, very slim margins. And so that doesn't give them the freedom to back up Trump and the Republicans on every single thing, especially when it comes to issues like cutting Social Security and Medicare. And so this is a controversial bill even for the Republicans. It's once again them doing that kind of thing where they get really excited about a certain political project, even though it's kind of political suicide for them in a way. I mean, it's in terms of pleasing their base and keeping the perception of them amongst their constituents high and positive, it's a bad move. It's like when they were trying to repeal the Affordable Care Act. Their entire base was against that, or at least enough of it that you saw this same dynamic where they're getting screamed at in town halls. And for some reason, the GOP, when they get into power, they just become hell-bent on doing things like this, cutting Social Security, Medicare, doing things that they know their voters don't want them to do as fast as possible. And in their, you know, ideal scenario, as quietly as possible. So the quiet part has not so much, you know, succeeded this time around. This has been a big controversial bill. And as of tomorrow, it's going to be voted on in the Senate. And there is a shutdown deadline at the end of tomorrow. So on midnight leading into Saturday, there is a deadline where the government's going to shut down. So on the Democratic side, the controversy is in how do you handle this? Just like everything else that Democrats are up against at the moment, the question that they do not seem to be able to get a handle on is, do we do anything at all? That's really the controversial point that Democrats can't seem to get themselves past. There are progressives and people within the party who want to fight and who want to use these points of leverage wherever they might emerge, because not only do they recognize that that's all they're in a position to do right now, is use every single procedural and perfunctory point of leverage that they have in the Congress and Senate to try to stop things up and get their way. Not only is that the only thing they can do right now, but it's also exactly what Republicans did when they were out of power during the Obama years, and even when they started to claw their way back into power towards the end of his 2 terms, when they were, you know, blocking everything. They were blocking his Supreme Court nominations. A lot of this was perfunctory, procedural, them just refusing to allow the procession of Congress at any point that they could stop it up. And So progressives are arguing, progressives like AOC and a lot of the base, a huge amount of the base, which is why Democratic leadership is completely out of touch with their base at the moment. Because when somebody like Bernie goes to the base, directly to them, and says, you know, we have to fight this, we have to shut it down, we have to do everything that we can to try to prevent the advancement of Trump's agenda, the party's on board with that. The base is on board with that. The party leadership is not. So Chuck Schumer has said, at least as of now, that he plans to vote for this resolution, this budget resolution, which would allow it to pass. So in other words, Democrats have the ability to stop this bill. This is a bill that cuts Social Security. It's a bill that cuts Medicare. It is a framework that defunds all of the most important parts of our government. And this is an important step in terms of the Trump administration's agenda, because what he wants is for these parts of the government to not have any funding. And what he's dealing with right now is a government where certain allocations towards certain departments have been made by Congress already. And so he, as the executive branch, has a responsibility to spend that money. But that is exactly what Elon Musk and Donald Trump are trying not to do. They don't want to spend the money that by law they have to spend because it was allocated by Congress. So this budget being passed in the way that Trump and Republicans envision it is a step towards essentially the defunding of all of these programs within our government to further set the stage for Donald Trump to dismantle them completely. Because since the money has been allocated by Congress as of now, Donald Trump has a responsibility to spend that money in the way that it was allocated. And that is backed up by the courts. So that's why this is an important stage in the Trump administration's agenda. And the question is, are Democrats going to let him do exactly what he wants with the government? Or are they going to do the same thing that Republicans did when Obama was in power? And are they going to scratch and claw and force their way into concessions from the GOP? So Chuck Schumer has said that the reason he's going to be voting in favor of the bill in order to avert a government shutdown is because he feels that if the government shuts down, that would be worse for Democrats, and it would be worse for the situation that we're in. That essentially a government shutdown would allow Trump to do more damage. And it would, ultimately reflect badly on Democrats, but it does every time. It doesn't matter, because the Republicans, when it comes to this kind of thing, are pretty good at playing the media usually. So they're always going to try to turn the narrative towards the Democrats. And of course, if Democrats stop this up, they would be the bad guys. But the point is that when Republicans did that and actually forced government shutdowns, they didn't care if they were the bad guy in the media. They didn't care. They did it anyway. And that is the difference between the style of leadership we saw from them during the Obama years and the leadership we are seeing from Democrats now, is that while, yes, it might have made them unpopular at the time to be viewed as the ones who were stopping up the government, it also allowed them to set a new standard for their own party, which has led to the bullish tactics that we see from them now. Essentially, the Tea Party and the tactics that they engaged in to oppose and subvert the Obama administration led directly to where we are now with Donald Trump and the leadership of Donald Trump. The Tea Party paved the way for a Republican Party that embraced Trump rather than rejecting him. And who knows if they ever would have rejected him at any point. But, I mean, they sort of did. Trump had tried to run in the past and failed. But the time was right in 2016. And he's taken over the party ever since. Why is that? Because Republicans embraced a no fucks given style of getting what they want. And at all costs, they assert what they want, even when they have no power, even when they have no leverage, other than the fact that if they don't show up for work, the procedure can't go on, or whatever the hell it is. They would use their leverage in that moment. And that's what Democrats are refusing to do. Now, the argument that Chuck Schumer makes that government shutting down would be worse for the situation that we're in and wouldn't necessarily lead to concessions. There is some merit to that claim, I will say. And if you look at the precedent of government shutdowns that were forced by the likes of the Tea Party and senators like Ted Cruz during the Obama years, they were successfully able to stop the government from functioning and create a whole debacle. Did they extract any meaningful concessions from that? No, they didn't. But it is the principle. It's not just about this fight. It's about every fight. It's about the fact that they need to know that we are going to fight them on everything, that they're not going to be able to take a step without facing resistance. And if they jail all of the politicians that are resisting them, then a new crop of politicians, younger politicians, is going to emerge that's even worse. That's the perception that they need to have. That's the perception that Republicans created of themselves with Democrats during the Obama years. What it did was it put Democrats in a position where they had to pick their battles carefully. They had to pick their battles while they were the ones in power. Democrats were in power, and they had to choose daintily which issues they were going to try to get through, which ended up being the Affordable Care Act and some other things, minor things. That's the reason that we didn't see transformative change during the Obama years, is because, among other reasons, Republicans made it clear that they were not going to allow government to be utilized to create that change. Not trying to let Obama off the hook there, but that certainly was the dynamic from out the gate of his presidency, is that you're going to have a fight every step of the way. And Trump faced that the first time. During his first term, he did face that. This time, the Democrats do not seem to be willing to mount that. You have Hakeem Jeffries, who is inexperienced and doesn't seem to be up for any kind of fight. And you have Chuck Schumer, who in the eyes of not just the Democratic base and progressives, but a lot of Democrats in the House, Democrats who all voted against this bill, are furious at Chuck Schumer. And they are talking to AOC. They're trying to encourage her to primary Chuck Schumer, meaning that people within the Democratic Party not only want new leadership, they want new leadership to take its place by force, being AOC. They're saying to AOC, you are the person who has the power to unseat this senator. And she does, and she should. I think she should. And so that's the lesson I'm taking away from this, is that Chuck Schumer might be right, that shutting down the government while Donald Trump is in control is a bad idea. It's kind of the coward's way out, because I look at it this way. If Democrats were willing to fight every fight, then this fight would be worth picking. But they're not willing to fight every fight. So is this fight worth picking if it's going to lead to worse conditions that Democrats are not going to do anything about? That's really the situation that we're in. And so what I think you should do, everybody should call. I'm going to put the number up. I'm going to call all this morning, and all of you should call as soon as you see this. Call and tell Chuck Schumer, demand that he vote against this bill, because we all can still change that. And it's possible that pushing the Democrats into a more combative position might force them to continue to engage in those type of tactics. But really, what I think needs to happen here is that Chuck Schumer just needs to be replaced. And maybe that's the way to get the message across to him, whether it's you calling or me calling or what he's hearing from his colleagues behind the scenes, which is that if you are going to roll over on this and not use the leverage that you have, that's the end of your leadership. That's the end. It's from here on out, you're going to have to fight for it. If you're going to keep that seat, you're going to have to fight for it against one of the most popular politicians in the country, if not the most. So that's the type of pressure that Chuck Schumer needs to be under. And frankly, I think he should be replaced. I think that it would be a welcome change to have. It has to be somebody like AOC. It can't be Slotkin or whoever else they would put up for that job. So if a primary challenge is what needs to happen, then I support it. And if that's the good that can come out of this situation, if Chuck Schumer's right, that we shouldn't put ourselves in a worse position in this government shutdown, what he's really telling us is that he's not the leader for this. He's not the leader for this. And if the government shut down, he doesn't have it in him to continue fighting in the way that would be necessary in order to carry that fight through. And so if any good is going to come of this, let it be that this is the final signal, not just to you and me, who already want Chuck Schumer out of there, but potentially to the rest of the Democratic Party, that it's time for a leadership change. And if it can be moments like this that allow the party to embrace someone like AOC, then maybe that's the only hope we have. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. And if you really want to support, consider becoming a member. That's the best way to support my channel. I'm going to be posting all kinds of exclusive content there, like podcast, lyric breakdowns, music, songs. If you like the beats that play in the back of these podcasts, all of that is going to be posted there and more. And if you have ideas for stuff that you would like to see as exclusive content, let me know and we'll try some things out.